Hello, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're good. I thought I would go into a deeper dive into what I wear, my favourite gear when I'm on the bike at winter. As you know, it is grim out there at the moment. It's cold, wet, windy, everything all together. It's not pleasant at all, is it? But if you are determined to go outside, and especially people like myself, you go out and do group rides. Granted, I go on Zwift when it's really, really bad. It's nice to just be outside because it is the outdoors. It's one of the reasons why we cycle, isn't it? It's beautiful. Before I get into the clothing, and I have got a lot of stuff scattered around here, there's sort of stuff involved with it as well. My bike. Now, I'm still using my giant TCR at the moment, and I'm in two minds whether to change that up. At the moment, the only thing that I've got to put that into winter mode is the ass saver, which is brilliant for me, well, for my ass, but it's no good for frontal area, and it's terrible for people who are riding behind me, so it's a bit selfish really. So I'm looking into options of either getting some full length mudguards for it, or potentially, which is going to lead into another video, using my titanium bike, because I have mudguards for that. But there's issues why I'm not riding that, but we're going to go into a deeper dive in that video when it comes around, so watch out for that in the future. Now, clothing. Yes, let's go into clothing first, shall we? Because it's important. What do I wear when I'm out on the bike? Now, first thing is, quite simply, the best piece of clothing, whether it be cycling, running, swimming, casual, posh, everything. The best thing I've ever bought, and yes, people take the mick out of me for this all the time, is this. It is a Brynja synthetic string vest. It's long sleeved. The base layers are important, and for me they're probably one of the most important parts of riding, because I've worn crap base layers in the past which just get you sweaty and don't wick it away very well. These are ridiculously good. They are expensive. I can't remember exactly how much they are at the moment. I'll put that up here. But I bought this in the original lockdown back, I think in 2020, when I was running, and I was running up some fells in winter, and I have genuinely never got too hot, never got cold in this. It is a magnificent, magnificent piece of clothing. I would highly recommend you just bite the bullet and buy one of these. If it's not from Brynja, that's their name there. If it's not from Brynja, then there are other companies that make things like this. That is the most important thing. And as we're talking about base, in fact, no, let's go with second layer, because layering up in winter is what you should be doing. I've got this beautiful, stretchy, long sleeve. I actually got this from Toby. And I can't remember who made these, because it doesn't actually say. He gets a company to make them. And out of all of the long sleeves I've had, and I've had some, I've got a good one that I got years ago from Preska when they shut down. And this is a theme. But this is by far and away the most, because you look at the stretch on that. It is divine to wear, and it's also good to wear as a just a base layer when it's not massive, not a base layer, just a normal jersey under your proper outdoorsy jersey when it's not too cold. On top of that, I have to say so, I am looking at Shut, because they are helping me out. They've helped me out recently, and as you know, well, if you want to buy them the apparel, a little interjection here, selling the t-shirts, the caps and the buffs. Again, if you want to buy any one of those, I'll run these to the side. Get in touch, because I'm putting a list together of how many people want things, so I can potentially put an order in. Anyway, back to this. My full jersey, this is actually my club jersey. Not sure how much of you can see. This is from Kirby Lonsdale Cycle Club. It's made by BioRacer, and it is lined. So it's got this beautiful, beautiful fleece lining, and genuinely keeps you hot, really, really hot. So that's 3 long sleeve layers. A way to ensure that you keep toasty. Now, bibs. Again, I am still looking at shorts because they do a couple of winter bibs and I basically can't decide. But in the meantime, my best bibs I've had so far, and this isn't going to help you in any way, shape or form, are these. These are by a company that is now defunct called VAT. You can see that there. They were shutting down and I bought 2 pairs of these. There's a winter and a deep winter, and I'll be quite honest, I cannot tell the difference. They're both, again, lined. And as you know, bibs, you don't wear anything under your bibs. Never been cold, and I've ridden in minus temperatures in these here in the UK. They are lovely, warm, they keep, well, they're obviously not waterproof, but they're just so nice to wear. If you can find a good pair of bibs, and not just the fact that they're warm, the fact that they have a comfortable chamois as well, that's a huge deal. And well, go back to Schutt Velo, the chamois they're beautiful, they're really good. Now, socks. 2. 2. I was lucky enough a few weeks ago, I went to a second-hand bike thing, clear out tabletop sale, and I picked up 3 pairs of socks for a tenner, which in the normal world is silly, isn't it? But this was one of the pairs. They're a pair of Le Col. I'm not sure if they're specific winter socks because there wasn't really much in the way of labelling on them, but they have an extra thick middle bit to them. Again, they're divine, but the ones that I tend to turn to are, I think, actually mountain bike socks by Endura. And if they're not mountain bike socks, then I apologise, Endura. These are merino, the nice thick merino. I've been looking into all sorts, like in Defeat and Cozy Toe, stuff like that. But so far, to date, these, especially when I'm wearing my lake shoes, which have loads of ventilation, they're just beautiful, really warm. Merino is, I can't say how good merino is enough. It's a wonderful material, and if I had the cash, I would actually, that synthetic string vest, I would have had the merino one, but again, it is hugely expensive. I brought a cap through and I can't find it. Here we go. So a cap, this is a really old one I've got. You see, that used to be white. I bought this when I bought my, a friend of mine actually sponsored me years ago when I did my first charity ride and got some winter gear, and this was in there. God, that was 6-7 years ago. And again, most importantly, it's got a little fleecy lining and it goes over the ears. Sorry, just hit the microphone. Goes over the ears. That is the big thing. And if you can't find one of those, I'm actually looking for another one, buffs. These get put on inside out. It's hard to demonstrate, I'm sorry. So put it on, you twist it halfway, fold it over itself. So again, it goes over the ears. Absolutely essential. And if you're not wearing it on your head, around here, this is the most beautiful. Again, just stretchy, nice fabrics. The best one I've ever found so far. And I say found, this was given as part of the 100 Climbs Peak edition that I did this year. Simon Warren still sells these, I believe. So if you want to grab one of those, go to his shop. He has a website where you can buy his gear. On top of all of that, yes, there's lots of clothes. You'll see in my last ride that I did, was that the last video I put out? I think it was. Little tiny, I mean, you can see how thin, ultra thin this is, can you? Hello. Ultra thin gilet. It's basically another wind barrier. It's slightly thicker on the front. It keeps a little bit of the showers out and the wet if there is a, going through puddles and muck like that. I mean, you can still see it's got a bit of dirt on there from the weekend. Should wash that. This cost me £2. It was I think it's a cask? No, calf. There we go. Calf. But the point being, it's a very light, ultra thin gilet. So if it gets too warm, you can back pocket it, put that to one side. Finally, for clothing, and these have been an absolute game changer for me, I suffer terribly with cold feet, really bad. Even in the warmer climes, I get cold feet. And so usually, especially when it's wet, I've been using they're very familiar, these Castelli foul weather shoe covers. They're again, really stretchy, but I mean, these are knackered now. I need to replace them because they're just ripped and a mess. They still work to a certain degree. I mean, they're just hanging. You stay at that. So, when it gets really, really cold, for proper winter, I have, ta-da, spats. These are, yes, again, they are expensive, but I live by the buy once, buy right. These are ridiculously good. This part here, you put your shorts on, or your bibs on, your tights on. Oh, well, I need to dry these out properly. They're still wet from the last ride. So you put that on, you let your foot flap through. I'll try and demonstrate somehow. Then you put your shoes on. Then you have your little toe covers, which you can actually wear separately if it's not that cold. These are great. It's basically like a thick neoprene. And then you wang these over the top. I have never got cold. Never got cold. You see, you've got a nice sort of rubberized thing here. I've come back from minus rides, minus Celsius temperatures rides, that is, with my legs sweaty. Genuinely sweaty. So these keep the rain off. And if it does get wet, because it's like a wetsuit material, they keep you warm too. And genuinely, I think I waited months for these to come back into stock. And I was searching everywhere. Every website, every supplier I could find all over the shop. Until I found a pair. And I think they're about 130 quid. But trust me, they're worth it. They really, really are. Before I get onto the last... Oh no, I've got other things. Sorry, gloves. Now, options for gloves. When it's not too cold, I do actually use these 100% mountain bike gloves. I think the mountain bike gloves. These are great. They still let me actually operate the camera quite well. But they're not really good when it gets really cold. Sorry, my knee's aching. Just have to move a bit. When it gets really, really cold, again, none of this is sponsored. These. Wearing good gloves is just a huge deal in the winter, and these are the Gilets deep winter gloves. Again, they are relatively cheap. They're about 30 something pounds. Thick, waterproof and hot. Genuinely hot. I have never been cold in these. I mean, the only problem you'll probably find with all winter gloves like this, I mean, they've got the amount of layers. When you take them off, if you go to a cafe stop and pull your hands out, you pull stuff out, and it's hilarious trying to put them back on. But again, the only slight downside with this, it makes it slightly more difficult to change gear. You don't have obviously the feel, and for me personally, I can't get the camera out of my pocket and operate it as easily as normal. But you know, that's a me problem. It's not a problem for the gloves in it. These are absolutely magic. Now, before I get onto the last couple of bits, just talking about footwear and what have you, I've mentioned this in a recent video. This is a shoe warmer. So you stick your shoes on there. Well, it's actually a shoe dryer. You'll see it's called an intelligent shoe dryer. It's not intelligent. It's just a heater with a fan at the end of the day. Putting this on for 5 minutes with your shoes on before you set off is amazing. Having warm feet before you set off, it's like warm feet keep your feet warm. It's like a feedback loop with your socks and your shoes, and especially when you've got your overshoes on. Now, adding to all of this, and this is partly sponsored this because Salici helped me out. You see, I'm just take these off a minute. I'm wearing these because I've got a bit of eye strain at the moment. These, you see me wearing these on every ride. I love them, and you see how clear they are. And when the sun hits them, there's a little video I did. If I find it, I'll put it in here. How dark they go if the sun comes out, especially in direct sunlight. These are such amazing things, and for wearing when it's dark, overcast, you're going through trees, stuff like that, they are just wonderful. They're comfortable, they're light. These are the 028, the 028s. Magnificent things. They really, really are. I'd highly advise you. Now, the last couple of things are safety features. Lights. When I bought the bike, I bought this. This is the Giant Recon. It's the 1800 or HL 1800. Immensely bright thing, but for some reason I've never been able to get it to fit my bike on my stem, my bars, stem. It's a good light. It puts out a vast amount of light. If we can get it working. Nope. It was working yesterday. It's good job that this isn't live, isn't it? I've probably run the battery dry. Yeah. So I've recently refound my old Magic Shine one. Now, upsides with this, it's little, just rubberized, wraps around your bar. Downside, separate battery. That needs strapping to your frame, or what I've done recently is I put that in my top tube bag. And I'm using my top tube bag because I'm wearing my thick gloves, so I've got access to stuff easier because I've got my gilet on as well and I can't get to my jersey pockets. So I've been using my Restrap long top tube bag. And then for the rear of the bike, for some reason I can't get this to charge this morning. I think my charger's bust. Rear light. This is my Moon Nebula. So many people use these. They last forever on the bike. I can't remember how many hours they advertise, but it's utterly ridiculous. They just do such a good light, and they do static light or flashing, various different flashes. Sometimes I'll put two. I'll have one on a static and one flashing that way. But now, because I've got my Salici Vento helmet, there's a little button on the back of that. The Titan screw is actually a light as well, so have that on as well, because being visible when the sun is low, or well, it's dark, especially at this time of year, is vital, and it's really, really important. I think that's it. I really do think that's it. I should have put my Christmas hat on, shouldn't I? But I hope that's of a help to you. If you've got any tips for winter riding, obviously keep it warm, keep it comfortable. And if you want to share your experiences, your favourite clothes, do let me know, because you know, we're cyclists, we're always on the lookout for each other, and we're always on the lookout for better gear. So yeah, just type that down in the comments and let me know. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas, and I will we'll see you on Thursday, I think. Yeah, see. Merry Christmas.